So Meta stock has seen a really good 2023. It is up tremendously here in 2023. It's one of my best performing stocks in my portfolio. This stock in 2022 saw its stock price go down significantly, which is really interesting. It's the same company just really 16 months later and worth a lot more money than it was trading about 12 to 14 months ago. So I wanted to take a look at Meta, update my analysis on the company and share that with you. Also update the valuation that I have on Meta and what my plans are with this particular stock. My name is Victor. I have an MBA, a lot of business experience, and I like sharing the analysis that I conduct on stocks on YouTube. If you can do me a big favor and like my video and subscribe to my channel, I'd appreciate that. Now let me go over my process and analyze Meta. When I look to invest in a stock, I really look to invest in a company. Do I want to be part owner in a company? Do I want to be in that industry? So I look at it as a fractional share of ownership in a business. So that's my first question that I ask myself before I buy a stock. Second, you would hire good people to run that business. And I really evaluate the performance of the management team. Are they doing a very good job operating that business? I wouldn't buy a business that was in heavy debt, and it would be more of a liability than it would be an asset. I want to make sure debt is under control and less than 3 times EBITDA. I want a healthy balance sheet. And I want a discount on the stock. I don't invest in a business to lose money. I invest in a business to make money. And if you sell me a business at a discount, I'm a buyer. So I want a discount on my stock price. And based on the answers to those questions, I buy, hold, or sell. The story on Facebook is once we got connected on our computers and our mobile phones, our smartphones, we were able to really take part in social networks. And Facebook, which was the name of the company in that era, really took the most market share out of all the different social networks, and it became this very large company. The company was smart enough to learn to monetize all that traffic they had of people joining Facebook, Instagram, and they began to sell ads. So a majority of their revenues come from ads that are provided on Facebook and Instagram. It's a huge success, and there's a movie. So if you want to see the social network, you'll see, I think, a fun version of history as it pertains to Meta's history. Overall, I really like the business. They are very profitable because they just need to be the market share leader. They have to have the best experience for users. They have good barriers of entry, which other people would call moat, because it's going to be very hard to replace Meta. They have billions of people logging into Meta related applications every day. And their second, their closest rival is nowhere near their market share where they're at. So I like the company. I love the industry, very profitable. So big check mark on company and industry. The management team of Meta is, without argument, the best management team for a social network app company. If you look at their growth in revenue, they went from being less than $1 billion company in 2009 to over a $116 billion company in 2022. They had a huge year in 2021 when we had all the lockdowns. Boy, they were just printing money over at Meta. So the management team gets a big check mark because they've managed the team, they've grown the company, they've established great profitability, wonderful cash flow. I mean, what else could you ask from this management team? Meta enjoys a leader position when it comes to market share, and it's significant. If you look at Facebook and Instagram, they have about 65% market share of all social media websites in the world. Their closest rival would be Pinterest at 14.69%, and then X, which previously was referred to as Twitter, at 14% as well. So their market share position is just unrivaled. It's so clearly ahead of everyone else. And it'll be very hard to replace Meta. Artificial intelligence is super hot in 2023. And there are a few companies that have the ability to execute on artificial intelligence. One of those few companies is Meta. And here's why. In order for AI to work, you have to have a very large data set. You have to have a lot of money to buy the compute and the resources to actually create your artificial intelligence applications, your large language model. So Meta has a huge data set. They have billions of people logging into Meta every single day. So when it comes to data, they have a huge data set. They also have resources. They have a lot of billions of dollars of cash on the balance sheet and continue to produce very high free cash flow. So they have the ability to execute on AI. Very quickly, I foresee that AI is going to be available on Facebook, Instagram, and the advertisers that spend a lot of money on Meta already have AI tools, machine learning, that they use to make their advertising dollars really work. So they already have AI in place, and it's just going to get better for their customer, their advertising customer, to use Meta. So AI is going to be a growth factor for Meta, and it's going to position them well for the future. From a valuation perspective, I believe that Meta stock is discounted by 24%. And what that means is that I believe each share is really worth $380, but the stock market's selling shares for about $308 per share. Now you can study my complete valuation in another video I have on my channel, where I go step by step on how I value cash flows as well as earnings per share. But I believe that the stock is discounted by 24%. Their balance sheet is incredibly strong. They really have no debt. They have $53 billion of cash and only $18 billion of debt. So they can write a check and pay off all their debts. But even when you compare debt to EBITDA, they could pay off their debt in about 6 months. So they have a lot of cash, very little debt, very strong balance sheet. So coming back to my investment scorecard, do I want to invest in this business? Do I want to be part owner and a part of this industry? Absolutely. Their management team is the best in their particular industry. I covered debt, which really they don't have debt. They have more cash than debt, and they have a very strong balance sheet, and they offer a discount. So I continue to buy shares in Meta. I'm a value investor, and I depend on analysis that I complete. I look at financial statements. I do the calculations on free cash flow and earnings per share. So I could establish what I believe a particular business is worth if you look at it on a per share basis. In this case here, I believe that Meta is worth $380 per share. So like in 2022, when the stock went from, let's say, $365 per share and it dropped, for some reason, the market thought just Meta is not a very good investment. It dropped below $100. I believe it got to like $89 per share. And buying at that level, your investment would have gone up 250%. What a buy. I did buy in this era. I bought shares in this era. And I really watched carefully that I didn't overbuy in this era. And the reason for it is that I do my own analysis, and I really try to understand what a business is worth, so that when the market really starts discounting a company like it did Meta, I buy shares. And when the market is maybe pricing a stock at a premium, I don't buy shares, and I consider selling, or I lean up on my my position. Here with Meta, it's my number one stock for 2023. I've made the most money on Meta. It's my biggest position in my portfolio. And when it ran up so quickly up to this level, I sold 6% of my position in Meta just to cash in on profits. And I was glad I did so. The stock's come down and now it's beginning to pick up again. I've been buying into the company and averaging in my buys. Um, but that's why I do the analysis and I'm a value investor, is so that I could take advantage of, or I could buy into a quality company when the prices are really attractive, and really just hold my shares when the stock doesn't offer a big discount. I could just write it out and wait for the market to start discounting it, or wait for the valuation to change. As a business grows and they grow their free cash flows, the value per share grows. So I can then buy more shares when the valuation goes up as well. Meta is one of the most valuable companies on the stock market. It's one of the Magnificent Seven stocks, and it should be there. It is one of the most valuable companies you can buy. And I'm glad I'm an investor. I think the value will continue to increase because the future of Meta is really bright. They've invested in businesses that have really paid off, like Instagram. WhatsApp has billions of users, and they've yet to monetize that business. And I think when they monetize it, it's going to bring in even more revenue and profits. The artificial intelligence businesses that come, I think that is going to be a bright future for Meta. I think AI, Meta's AI, is going to bring in revenues in the future. Not sure how soon, maybe in a year or two, but I think Meta is going to have the ability to execute on AI. And hopefully that metaverse finally, turns a corner and begins to grow. It might with this AI craze, and we'll see greater revenues from the metaverse, and that will be kind of a wild card. If it happens, wonderful. Meta will benefit from it. If it doesn't happen, there's really no expectation on the metaverse, so there's no risk there. So that's my video on Meta. Hope you found it interesting, and I appreciate you watching. Do me a favor and like my video and subscribe to my channel. I'd appreciate that. Thank you for watching. Good luck investing in 2023.